Now I want to share this video since I'm in the flow. Fresh back from a walk, breathing the crisp, clean, fresh, revitalizing air, which is so refreshing and enlivening, purifying, invigorating. The life air. God, I love it. Breathe deeply, without a care, walking on air. But that doesn't mean that we're not loving. We can be nonchalant and non-caring, but still deeply loving. See, there's a couple of thoughts which arose in consciousness, which I'd like to share and convey via this. Hence, me making this video. I want to share this flow, this energy, this vibration. And there's no doctrine or alteration of creation. I literally fresh back from a walk, and I grabbed the phone, grabbed the stand, and here I am, making this for all those who can benefit from it. That's the intent. But before I get off on a tangent, which we could say is a habit, but it's not a habit because it's not unconscious. It's a conscious tangent, and I can always loop back to what I was talking about, but I want to try to stay focused in a one-track linear sequence so that it's easy to follow. Now, some thoughts which arose in consciousness on the walk. First of all, looping back to being loving, but simultaneously not caring, to being transcendent to outer creation, but inwardly loving, because it's a way of being, because our being is a constant transaction with all of creation, and our intention can be that of giving rather than taking. And taking isn't such a great word, right? That can have a negative connotation. So we can exchange that word for receiving. Because really, giving and receiving are one. There is no difference. So if you're one that's constantly giving, you got a lot of life to give and share and uplift the world, because that's power, right? True power seeks to give force and give life and uplift and give energy, whereas force and negativity seeks to constantly consume energy because it's intrinsically incomplete, or at least believes itself to be. Really, it's not. We're all deeply complete and content as the source, our infinite intelligence, is always with us. Just want to be conscious of this constantly. It's continuous, no matter what the seeming outward process. As we progress spiritually, as we continually surrender ever more deeply, we surrender to the process of life and life's plan for us, not our personal plan and personal ambition. But as we surrender to this process, it becomes progressively more powerful. And rather than forcing ourselves, having to constantly move from point A to point B, we can become like gravity, powerful. We can stand still and identify with the field in which everything is happening and occurring, which is not separate from this entity. There is no separation. And looping back to, again, being loving. When you're in that state of being, loving is natural. Being happy is natural. You don't need a reason You don't need a reason to love. It's beyond logic. It's beyond reason. There is no limitation. There's no mentation. It's a state of simply being. One with existence, with life, with all of life. It's a joyous state where we're continuously happy, right? Where you're simultaneously aware of the words coming out of you, the creek bubbling in the background, the birds singing, the cars driving by, all of it. It's an all-encompassing presence which expresses through this, through you, through your way of being, through your beingness. And as you get in tune with this, it's a state of limitless power and potential, infinite intelligence, a state of pure awareness, which is not subject to time. It's not subject to the conditions of a mind, to the conditions of a personal meanness. There's no structure, a self-image, personal identity to condition the love which we are naturally. There's no personal image to grab a hold of it and to condition it, that which wants to express and manifest and be one with all of existence. There's not saying, hey, this person deserves my love and that person doesn't, because we don't feel separate, because we sense that we all are them, because our state of being is that of truth, and truth is all-inclusive. There's no exclusion. There's no separation, because we deeply feel one with all of creation. We can feel this state of being deeply loving and still kind of be nonchalant and non-caring. There can be non-involvement, not getting entangled, no entanglement, but simultaneous participation with creation. We can be a loving participant, consciously. We don't feel like we have to be, but we choose to be and we want to be, because that's how we feel inwardly. You see, deeper than skin deep. It's another thought that arose in consciousness on the walk. It's funny to me how I used to project that love outwardly as if it were outside of me. But when we do the 180, we shift our attention inwardly. We do that 180-degree shift, and we realize that the love with which we love, which we were accustomed to projecting outwardly, that love is the love that we actually are. That is us. That is our essence. That is connected to our consciousness as love. Unconditional love is the primary quality of divinity, or essence, the divine essence, which naturally wants to express as this loving presence from which we're never separate. And we're a channel for this essence. We don't take credit for it. There's no pride in it. Gratitude and thankfulness precludes arrogance. There's no personal need to take credit for that which naturally manifests as this piece of creation. And we don't say peace in terms of separation, as if this piece were separate from the whole. We say peace in terms of peace, right? This piece is forever at peace. You can't bring peace to the world if you're not inwardly at peace, right? You can't be good company for others if you can't be good company with yourself. It all starts within. It starts with your being. We want to move from having, I have this, and doing, I got to do this and do that and do that, to simply being, to be able to simply sit and be present and be complete. Right now, all is here. I'm whole and complete. You can affirm it to yourself mentally, and naturally, it progressively becomes a state of being. You don't have to think about it. It's your natural state. You're naturally content. You're naturally happy. Again, you don't need a reason. You don't need to think about it. It's beyond logic. Somebody sent me a text message saying how a bee lives about 40 days and is constantly working and makes about a teaspoon or tablespoon of honey its whole lifetime, constantly working, and it yields, a small amount of honey. So it's about context, right? Because to us that may seem like something small, but that's a lifetime's work for the bee. And my response to that, they sent, it was a meme, and my response was, I wonder if the bee feels that it works hard, and if it does, if it takes pride in it, takes credit for it. Or perhaps, maybe the bee just does what it does without really thinking about it. And thus, doing and being are simultaneous. They're one. There is no difference. There's no separate doer. There's no personal me that feels that I'm the doer because you're being done. You are the channel of creation as the Lord is manifest in this wondrous existence, life, existence. Our essence, that is the Lord, that is God. Divine Mother Shakti, this electric energy, continuously expressing and manifesting, simultaneously, inwardly and outwardly. There is no separation. And we can try to put language and verbiage to this, but it's beyond thinkingness and speakingness. Although it's simultaneously conveyed as the energy in back of this, the words that I speak, not necessarily the words themselves, as they may not necessarily appeal logically, but the essence and energy in back of the words, the place from which they're spoken, the inspiration, the intention, which gives them life. Take a deep breath in. Life. This life is not separate from the life in the tree, from the life in anybody, in anything. And all of creation continuously manifesting. And thus, when you not just think about this, but you experientially feel this profound sense of connectedness, you feel at home in the presence, in this at-homeness. There's no enemy, because you're a friend of every single entity. They might disagree mentally, but the deeper part of them, they recognize, they know. Maybe not consciously, but the deeper part of them knows that, wow, this essence, this sameness, this changeless, limitless presence is the same. energy in each and every entity, simultaneously expressing as all of humanity. When we see deeper than skin deep looping back, we won't see a woman, which is of course a beautiful piece of creation, but we won't see them superficially. We won't see them as something that we can extract pleasure out of externally. We can get something from, right? Because we're at a lack inwardly, so we seek to get something as if a temporary gratification could bring us lasting contentment. And when there's nothing to get from another entity, so we're trying to give love. We're not trying to get it. And the more we give, the more we get. But we don't give with that intent. It's just natural. It's not mental. It's a state of being again. It's beyond doing. It's beyond, oh, I'm going to give this. There's no personal structure mentally to condition the love, to try to get something, some pleasure or whatever it is, some energy out of somebody, because we seek to give it. And when there's nothing to get, we see deeper than skin deep. We see, wow, this person is pure and potent energy. You know, you see past the skin, even physically. What's below that? A skeleton. Bones, right? We want to think in terms permanence of existence, which is continuous, which is limitless. We've all been given infinite potential and free will. And a lot of humanity, unfortunately, seeks to accumulate that which is temporary, which can be taken away with the physical body at the death of the physical body. Because the body dies, right? But that which animates the body, that which is the life, the awareness within the body, that continues long on afterwards and is not temporary. So why not seek to accumulate the energy which is permanent, and thus realize complete contentment? Store up our treasures in heaven, on earth, right now as this piece of creation, not as heaven somewhere off in the distant future, in the sky somewhere, off in a antiseptic corner of the cosmos, but right here, as this, right now, the only place where our essence is found. We become acutely aware of all of sound. We can simply, even with our eyes open or closed, either way, be a constant state of meditation, bliss, transcendence, of groovingness, simultaneous groundedness, and participation with all of creation, existence, on earth as it is in heaven. No separation, no difference. Become acutely aware of all of sound, all of creation, which is pure vibration. Even these words that I'm speaking, they're a certain vibratory energy, not just something to be understood conceptually. So I hope this transmits and you get this, not just as a personal meanness, but I hope this speaks to your essence, the same life within this. Within that, there is no difference. And I speak from this place of connectedness, the presence. And thus there's no conscious monitoring. It's a free-flowing, you can say, therapy session. So I hope this is therapeutic for you. Because I'm spending a lot of time in solitude. This energy accumulates within you, and you naturally seek to express it, and give it, and share it, so that so-called others can benefit from it. Simply put your hand on your heart. If you feel yourself getting caught up in thoughts or emotions or whatever it is, put your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath. All is here now. Count. Count each heartbeat. Just bring your awareness inwardly, your focus, your attention to this moment here now. Again, we're the only place where your essence is found. Do it every day. We don't just want to pray when we need something. Oh, Lord, give me this, give me that. But make it a practice, a daily practice. Not there's a personal me to do this, but it just becomes natural as the presence animates your intelligence and your focus turns inward. And thus the bliss builds up within you. And you say thank you. Whichever saying thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lord, God, Jesus, Buddha, Rama, Krishna, whatever the label, whatever the word, whatever the name. You don't want to get hung up on the word, on the letters. But you're saying thank you to whatever that is, the essence which we point to with the label God, right? Which is ever within us. And thus I make this to inspire all those who see this to turn inward. The time is now. God bless. Have you ever look in the mirror and just see, hey, the whites of my eyes are so clear. They're pure like snow white. Or perhaps you go many days without even looking in the mirror. And then you look in the mirror and you're like, wow, that's me. Holy cow. That's crazy. I'm not an image. I'm not an impression. But thank you, Lord, for impressing me with this divine energy. And I'm continuously conscious of you within me and all of humanity. All right, I'm done now.